What if I told you that the Brown family, the stars of Sister Wives, were torn apart not just by jealousy or favoritism, but by two scandals so shocking, fans still can't stop talking? A dime that destroyed a friendship, and a confession about intimacy that left viewers stunned. Tonight, we uncover both stories and reveal how they connect to a larger truth about power, love, and betrayal. This isn't just reality TV drama, it's the unraveling of a family empire. And once you hear Christine's words and see the fight with Meri, you'll never look at Sister Wives the same way again.
But I got these two exes going, I want this, let's do, what are we doing, what are we doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So they're nagging me, which is great because I just got two ex-wives who are total nags, now nagging still.
Part 1. What if I told you that behind the polished family facade of Sister Wives, Kody Brown just revealed something so shocking, so unthinkable, it's left fans speechless. Intimacy. Yes, Christine admits she and Kody Brown used to get intimate even with their kids around. Now, we're pulling back the curtain on this disturbing revelation and exploring how it changes everything we thought we knew about the Brown family. But was this confession a moment of raw honesty, or a carefully staged bombshell to shake Kody's image forever? Stick around, because the truth may shock you even more than the reveal itself. For over a decade, Sister Wives has sold America on the dream of plural marriage harmony. Kody Brown, with his 4 wives and 18 children, painted a picture of unity. But under the glitter of TLC fame, cracks formed. Christine's recent tell-all confession about intimacy, children, and blurred boundaries may be the darkest crack yet. Fans already knew Kody's relationships were complicated: favoritism, jealousy, neglect. But no one expected Christine to say that private marital moments often blurred into the presence of children. It raises a chilling question: what did the kids actually see? Later in this film, we'll uncover how fans are reacting and why many believe Christine's words could rewrite the Brown family legacy forever. In an interview that stunned longtime viewers, Christine candidly admitted, sometimes, yes, even when the kids were around. While Christine framed it as unavoidable in a large household, fans heard something else entirely: a violation of privacy, boundaries, and innocence. But was it really about space and circumstance, or about power, control, and neglect? Act 2 reveals the rising emotional storm. Behind closed doors, plural marriage often meant no privacy. Small homes, shared rooms, endless chaos. But where most parents draw a line, Christine and Kody seem to erase it. And this is where fans say Christine's confession takes a dark turn, because it suggests the children's boundaries were secondary to Kody's needs. This is disturbing. Kids deserve safe spaces. I'm sick. TLC needs to answer for broadcasting this family. Was this abuse of privacy all along? The internet erupted. Thousands of women, many who once admired Christine, are now horrified. Some argue she was victimized by Kody's demands. Others say Christine herself crossed a moral line. Christine's confession doesn't live in isolation. It connects to years of fan speculation. Why were the Brown kids often seen restless, uncomfortable, or retreating from camera time? Was this their silent protest? In just minutes, we'll reveal the twist: Christine's shocking attempt to reframe her story, and why many fans believe she's trying to shift the blame entirely onto Kody. This isn't just about intimacy, it's about control. Kody's dominance, Christine's growing resentment, and the children caught in the crossfire. Some insiders even suggest Christine dropped this confession as her ultimate revenge against Kody, weaponizing intimacy to tarnish his image forever. Act 3 brings the climax, the twist, the backlash, and what this means for the future of the Brown legacy. In a surprising follow-up, Christine attempted to clarify her words, claiming she didn't mean actual intimacy, but rather moments of closeness that were misinterpreted. But by then, it was too late. The internet had already decided. The backlash exploded. Calls for TLC accountability. Demands to protect the younger Brown children still in the spotlight. And for Christine, questions about whether she revealed the truth, exaggerated it, or accidentally confessed too much. But here's where the backlash gets even more personal, because many fans say they no longer see Christine as a hero, but as complicit. What does this mean for sister wives? For years, Christine has been cast as the brave wife who walked away from Kody's control. But this confession complicates her image. Was she a victim? A protector? Or a participant in crossing boundaries no parent should cross? The story of Christine and Kody Brown was already one of betrayal, heartbreak, and escape. But now, with this shocking intimacy confession, the sister wives' legacy may be forever scarred. For fans, it's no longer just a TV show. It's a mirror into blurred lines of love, power, and family. What do you think? Was Christine exposing Kody's toxic controller, admitting to something far more disturbing? Part 2. How can 10 cents yes, just 10 shatter a decades-long friendship? Tonight, we dive into the shocking tale of Christine and Meri Brown, and how a single coin exposed years of tension, jealousy, and betrayal within the sister wives family. Stick with us, because this isn't just about loose change. It's about power, favoritism, and a sisterhood that was never as united as TLC wanted us to believe. For years, Christine and Meri projected harmony. They were not just co-wives, they were supposed to be sisters. But behind the stage smiles, deep fractures were forming. And in one unforgettable moment, a 10 dispute became the breaking point. The Browns always lived under financial stress. Shared incomes, shared debts, and shared sacrifices. But money was more than dollars and cents. It was a symbol of Kody's favoritism, of who was valued and who was dismissed. And when Christine accused Meri over just 10, it wasn't about money at all. It was about respect, or the lack of it. In a moment, we'll reveal exactly how this petty fight spiraled into years of bitterness, and why fans say it was the moment the sisterhood truly ended. Christine later explained the 10 fight wasn't about the coin. It was about the years she felt belittled by Meri, dismissed, mocked, and treated as less than. To Christine, the dime was a symbol of decades of disrespect. But Meri saw things very differently, and her reaction only fueled the fire. Act 2 exposes the rising storm. Meri has long been cast as the first wife, the original partner with Kody, often carrying an air of seniority over the others. To her, Christine's outburst over 10 cents was childish, dramatic, and unfair. But fans began to see a different story. Because when you look closer, this 10 feud reveals the toxic pecking order in the Brown household. Meri was a bully. Christine had every right to snap. I can't believe a dime was the hill they died on. This isn't about money, it's about years of control. Fans split sharply, some defending Meri as misunderstood, others rallying behind Christine as the underdog finally standing up. What started as a dime dispute spiraled into constant cold shoulders, icy interactions, and public digs. Even family gatherings became tense battlefields where Christine and Meri refused to share laughter, or sometimes, even a glance. And then came the ultimate fallout: Christine walking away from the Brown family entirely. Fans say Meri's treatment played a bigger role than anyone realized. As Christine built a new life, Meri was left isolated, clinging to Kody, who himself seemed emotionally absent. The dime may have been tiny, but the scars it left on both women were enormous. Act 3 uncovers the climax, the twist, the backlash, and the lasting impact of a friendship destroyed over 10 cents. In a shocking twist, Meri later admitted in interviews that she too saw the 10 fight as symbolic, not about money, but about Christine's resentment. Yet rather than apologizing, Meri doubled down, suggesting Christine exaggerated her pain. The backlash was swift. Fans dragged Meri on social media, calling her a mean girl who used her status to belittle Christine for years. Others accused Christine of dramatizing the feud for sympathy. The dime became a meme, a symbol, a rallying cry for justice in polygamy gone wrong. But here's the twist within the twist, because many fans say the real villain isn't Christine or Meri, but Kody himself. Kody's favoritism, his constant juggling act, and his neglect of Christine and Meri's relationship created the conditions for disaster. The 10 fight wasn't about coins, it was about a family structure built on competition, not compassion. A dime. Just schiffen? Yet it exposed decades of pain, rivalry, and betrayal in the Brown family. For Christine, it was the last straw. For Meri, it was another crack in her already fragile life. And for fans, it was the moment the illusion of sisterhood shattered forever. So what do you think? Was Christine right to call Meri out over the dime war? Was Meri unfairly painted as the villain? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because sometimes the smallest things reveal the biggest truths. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. In the beginning, the Browns sold us a dream. 1 man, 4 wives, and 18 children united under love and faith. Christine often portrayed as the cheerful, nurturing wife. Meri, the first wife, reserved and authoritative. And Kody, the charismatic patriarch, holding it all together. But as the years unfolded, cracks emerged. Private battles leaked into public view. And soon, what fans saw as wholesome plural marriage revealed itself to be a web of resentment. And sometimes, the smallest details, a misplaced word, a coin, or a single confession, become the spark that ignites a full-blown collapse. Christine shocked viewers when she admitted that she and Kody had been intimate even when their children were nearby. She framed it as an unavoidable reality in a crowded household. But fans heard something different. They heard blurred boundaries, and a disturbing glimpse into how family privacy was sacrificed for Kody's control. Christine's honesty was raw, but was it also a weapon? Some believed this was her way of exposing Kody's selfishness once and for all. Others say it painted her in a darker light than she ever intended. But Christine wasn't just clashing with Kody. Her relationship with Meri, already fragile, collapsed over something so small it became infamous. Just 10 cents. Christine accused Meri of being petty, controlling, dismissive. Meri, in turn, saw Christine as dramatic, attention-seeking. That dime became a symbol of everything wrong in their sisterhood. What do intimacy confessions and a 10 fight have in common? More than you think. Because both reveal how years of power struggles poisoned this family from within. To understand these scandals, we need to rewind. Meri was Kody's first wife, and for years, she wielded subtle authority. Christine joined later, often feeling dismissed, ignored, or ridiculed by Meri's sharp comments. Kody's favoritism for Robyn only deepened the wounds. By the time Christine finally spoke her truth, whether about intimacy or the dime, decades of resentment were already boiling. Fans remember episodes where Christine's laughter masked her pain, or when Meri's passive-aggressive remarks cut deeper than they seemed. Christine's revelation about intimacy wasn't just a random confession, it was tied to years of feeling like her boundaries, her voice, her very dignity, were ignored. And the 10 fight? It wasn't about money, it was about respect. It was Christine screaming, "See me. Value me. Stop treating me like I don't matter." That dime showed everything. Meri always belittled Christine. Christine's confession about intimacy is sickening. Kody created this toxic mess. He pitted them against each other. The kids deserved better. Thousands of fans rallied around Christine, praising her courage to speak out. Others condemned her, arguing she revealed too much or too late. And for Meri, the fallout was brutal. Once seen as dignified, she was now cast as the mean girl who drove Christine away. Christine finally walked away. Away from Kody. Away from Meri. Away from the entire polygamist experiment. And yet the dime and the confession remain. Not as throwaway moments, but as markers of the exact points where the facade cracked. Now comes the twist. Because Christine's revelations weren't just about the past. They were strategic, and they changed the future of sister wives forever. In later interviews, Christine tried to soften her words. She suggested her intimacy confession was misinterpreted. Meri, meanwhile, downplayed the 10 fight, claiming it was never serious. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was permanent. Fans had already judged. And the Brown family story was rewritten. The backlash was explosive. Christine was praised as a survivor, but also criticized for dragging children into the spotlight. Meri faced relentless memes about the dime. And Kody, perhaps, the true architect of the chaos, was blamed for orchestrating a household where intimacy and respect were equally blurred. These scandals aren't about intimacy or dimes, they're about survival in a system built on imbalance. Christine's confession revealed the cost of living without boundaries. The dime exposed how even the smallest disagreements can carry the weight of decades of oppression. And together, they show how polygamy didn't just strain marriages, it destroyed friendships. A dime. A confession. Two small moments that tore open the entire Brown family legacy. For Christine, they were acts of liberation. For Meri, reminders of isolation. For Kody, proof his control was slipping. And for fans, evidence that what we saw on TV was only a fraction of the truth. Before the scandals, before the dime, before the shocking intimacy confession, there were two very different little girls who would one day share a husband. Meri grew up as the eldest daughter in a strict religious household. With that came responsibility, control, and a sense of entitlement she would later carry into her marriage. Christine, on the other hand, was raised in a family where laughter and chaos often mixed. She longed to be seen, valued, and loved, traits that later clashed with Meri's sharp edges. And it was these very childhood differences, Kroll versus craving love, that set the stage for the explosive battles we saw decades later. Polygamy in America has always walked the line between faith and law. In Utah, where the Browns lived, plural marriage was technically illegally tolerated, until TLC cameras brought it into millions of living rooms. Christine and Meri weren't just wives, they were symbols in a cultural war. Every fight, every cold stare, every confession wasn't just personal, it was political. And that's why Christine's 10 fight and her intimacy confession struck deeper. Because they didn't just shatter the family, they reopened national debates about the morality of polygamy itself. But what about the children? Growing up in a house where one father balanced 4 wives, privacy was rare, jealousy was common, and stability was fragile. Some kids, like Aspen and Mike Helty, spoke openly about the challenges. Others retreated, avoiding cameras, quietly signaling discomfort. When Christine confessed about intimacy around the children, fans instantly asked, what did the kids witness? And when the 10 fight went public, it wasn't just 2 wives at war, it was 2 mother figures teaching very different lessons about respect. And for many fans, this was the most heartbreaking layer, because the kids never asked for this life. Here's something TLC never wanted you to know: cameras were rolling even when producers saw Christine and Meri's tension boiling over. Some insiders revealed that crew members were instructed to focus in whenever Christine or Meri clashed. That meant even the tiniest disagreements, like the 10 moments, were captured, highlighted, and magnified. And when Christine dropped her intimacy confession, producers knew instantly it was TV gold. But was it honesty, or was Christine nudged to reveal too much? Which raises a chilling question: how much of the Brown family drama was real, and how much was carefully produced chaos? Experts in family psychology point out that large polygamist households often blur boundaries. Dr. Helen Fisher once noted, in environments with shared partners, rivalry becomes inevitable. Without clear emotional boundaries, intimacy and resentment bleed together. For Christine, intimacy confessions reflected blurred lines. For Meri, the 10 fight reflected power struggles. Both, experts say, are classic symptoms of a system where competition replaces compassion. And this analysis changes everything. It suggests the scandals weren't just isolated fights. They were the natural outcome of a broken system. Fans didn't just watch, they became part of the story. Memes about the dime spread like wildfire. Hashtags like #justice for Christine and #Meri, girl trended in fan spaces. Podcasts dedicated entire episodes to Christine's intimacy confession. One fan on Reddit wrote, "It wasn't about the dime. It was about a lifetime of being devalued." Another posted, "Christine revealed more in one sentence than TLC did in 10 years of episodes." And that's why these scandals live on, not just as TV moments, but as cultural touchstones fans will never forget. But now, it's your turn. Do you think Christine was brave or reckless for confessing? Was Meri unfairly painted as the villain over just a dime? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you want more deep dives into sister wives, and subscribe for the next episode because the Brown family story isn't over. And neither is the drama.